Okay, everybody, welcome back to another coaching session on what's going on with the market. So let's look at Bitcoin first, and if I'm on, let's go on the bigger time frame. Then we'll go like what's the long-term trend, and then we'll go what's the short-term trend, what's the worst case, and how do we maximize our profits. So, and of course, the first question is what state am I in? Am I trading from a suffering state or a beautiful state? So, hopefully, you're in a beautiful state. Don't overextend yourself that you're worried too much. Uh, so we are, it seems to me that we are in a downtrend, right? As far as the long term, a 4 hour, seemed that we broke down and we keep going down slowly but gainly, all right? So I still think our target is 42. So I would probably start buying very quickly. I probably will have an order for 42.7 around there, right? So I want to put orders at that price. And for the altcoins, we don't know what price they're going to be. So you can have multiple orders as well as it goes down, right? So I really do think that, well, I don't know, but I assume that that price will probably be below the 30 RSI as well. I don't know that's hard to predict the price exactly what it's going to be. And because we're very bullish, we might just touch it and then go up or not. We don't know. So this is why you have multiple orders going down. And be careful trading altcoins with leverage. I will go in a leverage trade once I reach this level with half of my money that's available in leverage in case that it keeps going down. We don't want to, let's say it goes to 40 and I thought it would be 42. Well, I want to have more cash to buy more here instead of being, oh, I bought everything up here and it keeps going down. So of course I try to be very careful when I buy. I don't put orders unless I'm sure. So usually I trade on the 5 minute, and as you know, I wait for the 20 and 150 to cross, right? So that's what I wait for. So that's what I'm seeing. If we look at the ribbon again, we are definitely below on the 4 hour, very bearish. So, looks like a bearish trend right now, downtrend, right? But as far as if we look at the 1 week, right, let's take a look at it. So now obviously we have a very clear red candle and we are still above this bull market support, right? You can see that we are above it. Let's take all that stuff out. And we are above it. So, and again, it's that by the time it touches it, it'll be 42.7. So it may just end up bouncing off of it and then keep going up. So as long as we're above it, I think it's good. If we cross it, I still don't think it's a big deal, but it's unlikely. But maybe 40,000 is a possible scenario. But I think 42 is the magic number. Okay. Now, right. So just one thing as well to remember, what I mentioned before is that we have this big support, right? This was resistant, but now become like support. So I think that it will bounce off of that. And again, that's around 42,000 something, 42,700. So that will be a good buy point at that level. So let's see what happens. But so that's the long-term trend. We are in a downtrend, but we're still in a bull cycle. As we saw, 1, 2, 3, 4 green candles, and now we're getting a red one. And if you look at history, right, here's the bull cycle, 2 weeks of down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, then 1, 2, 1, 2, down, 1, 2, up. That's pretty flat here. But you can see that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then one red one. 1, then one red one. 1, 2, 3, 4, then two reds. So it's normal that, hey, we're going to go up, and then we're going to correct before we continue up, right? Because I do believe that we will end up going to the $100,000 level, but on our way up, we're going to see weeks that are red like this with red candles on the weekly. That's why it seems slow. It's slowly going down. It doesn't crash like sometimes it does, but not this time, and which is normal. It takes time for the Bitcoin to correct and go down before it continues up. So we want to buy that dip, right? And if you go to a 4 hour, you can see that in the past, we need to get rid of the support thing, I think. There we go. Why it's not? Okay, it doesn't seem very clear. Let's go on. I think we need to get rid of this. There we go. So if we go in the past, right, on the 4 hour, when there was dips, right, here's an example. We're going up, right, and then it dips. It definitely went below 30 like this. It didn't go much though, just a bit. And then it lasted, like this one went down 27%, right? And it lasted a long time before we started to going back higher than the local top, which has lasted, this one seems kind of long, like 28 days. That seems kind of long. Not all of them will last that long though, but then we have this one who went down 25%, and that before we broke the local top, it took about 21 days as well. So it does seem to last long, and you know, that's why it's very hard. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I'm not gonna buy it and hold it. I want to trade it, like buying the bottom, right, and then selling on the top, and I'm going to aim for about 10% with 5x leverage. That's 50%. I probably won't make the full 13%. And then you want to do that every time it kind of goes. Then as you can see, like once it goes there, right, you kind of have an idea where the bottom is. Doesn't mean it won't break it. So then when it went back up, then you get less, right, 6%. So if I would go for 10% here, 5% here. Then I sold at 5%, which I'm okay to. Then it will go down again. And this is where I would hold it, right? So if I'm lucky enough to catch the bottom because it's lower, then I would just hold it longer on the third wave. And that's 42%, right? So, and then we experience it all over again, right? It goes down, right? It goes all the way from the top. We have this one is less, 12%, which is probably what we're going to see this time. I don't believe we're going to see 25% down. I believe like 12% probably is about what we're going to see this time. I'll look at it afterwards. But if you buy the bottom, you hold it, you can get 10%. See it over 13%. So 10% is usually a gain. Then you have your bottom here, and you can see that it breaks it. I mean, the second one would be here. I don't know, we'll see 5% here. Yeah, we do see 5%. So you get 5% here before it breaks down again. And then it goes lower than that one. So you have to wait longer. And then it continues up, right? So you just hold it. So it's kind of a 3-step, right? So step 1, you buy here for 20%. Step 2, you buy here for 5%. And step 3, you buy here. And that's your biggest trade, right? That goes up. So it's the same thing if you go back to the previous one, right? So let's go back. So you bought here, right? You bought here. Now, this could be a wick where you trade as well. I'll teach you how to trade wicks like later, but that's a 20%. This is 5%. You wait, and then you buy here, and that's a almost 50%. So you can see like 1, 2, 3, right? And that's how I'm going to trade this one. So that's not a good example here. I believe, what is that? 65. That's a pretty big one here, from 26%. But it's the same ideal here. If you bought the bottom, right? You bought the bottom here. Oops, sorry. Get out of there. So you bought the bottom here, right? Which is kind of a wick, but it rebounds, and you're gonna do 10%, right? And then you buy it again here on the bounce. Well, actually, you wouldn't buy it there. Sorry, their line has changed, right? So because you bought the bottom there, and we know it's going to go back to that line. So the line now becomes about this, and then you're going to trade it a second time from here, and you should be able to get 5%. Yep. And then it's going to go deeper to the third wave, right? So if you buy the third wave, it's here, and then you hold it longer, right, for the longer gains, which I'm going for 20% on every trade at least, right? But the problem with that is that this one went down and went back down, and you have to have enough courage to hold it here and not panic, and then it will keep going up. That can happen, right? So that's why I would go 50% of like leverage in case that happens. I'm ready just in case it breaks it to buy more here, right? and that can happen. So you have to be very careful on that, and not panic, because if the bull market is not over, it's going to continue going up. So every time you're doing something like that, right? And I'm just kind of showing you how I think and how I trade, so you can model what's going to happen next, right? Because I can't tell you exactly what's going to like happen, but I think like if you measure from the top, right? Like let's see how it seemed like, yeah, we go down. I mean, the longer it takes to go down, the more we can go down. So I say that, let's say we go here 12%, and it could continue to go down for another few days, right? So, or it could go down tonight. But if it's tonight, we will only go down maybe 11%. If it's a few days from now, that the longer it takes, the more we can go down, right? So, or it could go down to that like support, right, of 42. So that would be 12%. So that's what I see is going to like happen. So just in the same way that I just showed you what happened in the past, you're going to buy here for making a how much? 10% trade, okay? Then it's going to come back to that line. You're going to trade again for a 5% trade. Then it's going to go crash down probably to that level. Then you're going to buy it and hold it for a 20% trade, okay? 20%. Now, if you use leverage, then you can double your, well, actually, this is 50% gain. A 5% times 5 is 25% gain. And this is double your like money if you do this perfectly, right? So you can see how this is a good play to do. And it pretty much follows that over and over again. Every time it goes below the 30 RSI, it pretty much follows that, okay? Maybe we could take another example. Here's one here, right? So you can see the crash goes down, right? So you crash are mostly 20%, sometimes more. This one is 27, right? And it followed the same thing. You buy here, right? And then you're going to make 10% gain. Now this one is more, but you don't know that. 10% is a good rule because, or you could put a stop loss if you're trying to, after you reach 10, you could put your stop loss to maximize, right? But it would have hit anyway. So I usually would take 10 because it's safer on the first one. Then you wait until it reaches the same level. You can see, go back here, right? Put that level here. And then it happened again here. So that's your second trade here. It took some time to get there. That wasn't as fast as it usually is. So that took like 10 days to get back there. But then you do a 5% trade here, which we get, right? You get more than that. We get 10, but don't risk it. 10, 5, 20, right? And then it went back. It didn't go as low. It actually went back to the line, but that's okay. That can happen. And this one we saw more than 20%. Obviously, this keep going up, right? So actually, if you go till the next crash, it's 29%, and then it crashed down. Right, then it crashed down, and that one was very quick. That one was 12%. You had your first trade here, right? So that happened very quickly. Your first trade is here, second trade is here. Then we don't have 3 on that one because it's a very quick correction. Sometimes you don't have 3, sometimes you only have 2. Okay, but most of them that went below 30, you should have 3 trades, because this one did not go below 30 on the RSI 4 hour. So, yeah. So I hope you understand how I'm thinking about how to trade that, right? Like what I'm really waiting for is that the 4 hour RSI will go below somewhere probably around here. And we will probably end up around here to make that trade at 42, whatever, 42 something, right? And go up, you're going to make 10%. It's going to go back to the line, go back 5%. It's going to go down further. Then you're going to hold it for 20% or more, depending how comfortable you are to hold it, right? I'm not. I would rather just do 5x and double, okay? So that's kind of the pattern that I follow. Hope that helps. Now let's look at Doge. Doge is following that support line over and over again. So I am trading Doge on this line. I buy here, right? And I try to sell as high as I can. And it goes back down, I buy it here, and now I'm going to sell it as high as I can, right? So you can do that. But most of my Doge, I'm just holding on to it. Even though I bought at a higher price, the price I bought is quite high. It's all the way up here, but I'm okay with that. And I could have sold a lot of it yesterday in profit here, and I didn't. I sold some, but not much. I decided to just hold on to it in case it kept going up. I told you yesterday, it could go down, right? And you will lose all the gain that we made here. That's what I said yesterday, if you remember. And that's exactly what happened. It could have went the other way, but only if Bitcoin would not correct. So, and Bitcoin is still in the long-term downtrend, but it's playing those like levels, right? You can see each time it falls one level, it plays it, right? Then it falls one and goes back up one, right? And it falls again and plays the level, then tries to make it. Nope, doesn't make it. Then we go down one like level, and that's where we are now, right? So it's playing this like level, and at some point we're probably going to head back down to the next like level. So don't play those levels with too much like money here. Play with a little bit. And the next level will probably be between 44 to 17, or could be, you could take one line away, and then it's bigger like level to play with. I have, sometimes I put the line because I'm trying to see like in the past what was going on, right? And you can see it was playing in that level a bit, but mostly I would think it's the two levels. Probably I would be looking at trading the next level. This would be the high and this would be the low of that level, and trading between here, right? So before we go down another like level, because we're not down to 42,000 yet, if you look, right? So we're not down. To go down to 42, oops, we're going to have to go down a few level. Let's drag that. Okay, and then we have the 42 down here. So you take that line off, then it's one level down and we're at 42, and this is where you're going to trade at. You're going to trade between here and here. Okay, so your buy, if you want to do and put a few buy orders, that's good to do, right? As it falls down, that's okay, right? Because that's probably the level. Now, the thing is that Bitcoin is very like tricky, so it's possible it just goes back up, right? Or it's possible it goes further down. We don't know. So I cannot predict exactly where it's going to go, but I have a good feeling that between those levels is where we're going to go before we start going up again, and then, you know, making that first 10% up, which from here to up would be quite high. It was seen quite high at first. I need to zoom out a little bit. Hold on. I need to bring that down. So let's get rid of this. Let's just bring this down. And so the first trade, once it reaches here, it's 10%, right? So it's up to that red line. And then it's going to go back down, then test the second level. And then you can do another trade after it reaches back here for 5%, which will be around to that yellow line, which matches those levels perfectly. And then it's possible that it breaks down even further, right? Maybe it goes down to here, and then we're trading 20%. Okay. Now, I do think that it's going to go higher. So the one for the leverage, I go for 20%. But the one that I buy and hold, like Dogecoin, I'm just going to hold on to it, right? Because if we continue the bull cycle, we're definitely going to beat that 48,000. We're going to go, right? Because we went to 48,000. So 20% means you go back to that local high. But I think it's going to continue beyond that. So your buy and hold like Dogecoin or Bitcoin that you're holding on, or whatever altcoin, you can continue to hold. But the thing is, the reason I go with 5x from here up and is I double my money, and then I have cash. The next time it crashes, I have more cash to trade again. But again, I'm going to hold my Dogecoin, so I expect Dogecoin to go up to $1 eventually, maybe in a matter of weeks, maybe in a matter of months, maybe next year. I don't know, but I'm going to hold it. I think I may sell it in the 0.70 cents, like the all-time high was. If you go to Doge, sorry, you go to Doge and you look at the all-time high, right? It went up before at 0.74. So I may end up selling right under there, like 0.70. And because, not say that I don't think it's going to go up to $1, but I think that, we could break through that. But once we reach this level, we could go back down. So I'm just going to sell it. And if it goes back down, I'm going to buy it. If not, then I'm okay too. So I would rather buy the dip, you know. Usually it goes to the high and then it dips, right? So probably when Bitcoin reaches the all-time high, which is now 65,000, then Dogecoin will reach $1. Will reach the all-time high as well. Maybe before, we don't know. Who knows? But here's the point, right? If you measure from where we are now to that, it's like 138%. So, I mean, you can make 138% trading, buying and holding. And if you have leverage, like 5x, you could do more than, you know, you could do pretty good. You could do like 700% or 600 and something percent, which is pretty good, right? Which I am going to do some, but for the long term like that, if I use leverage, I'm not going to buy a whole ton. I'm going to take it easy because it's risky to use. Well, I just don't feel comfortable. I would, if I buy and hold, I'd rather use no leverage, but I will do a small leverage trade this time and hold it probably to maybe 50 cents, the leverage one I'm going to sell here. But the buy and hold, I'm going to sell it at a high price. Okay, so this is the good news, you know, that if you believe that Dogecoin is going to go back to the all-time high, which I definitely think it will, and you can make a lot more than BTC, which is why I'm 35% invested in it, right? So hope that makes sense. All right. Okay, guys, so that's it for today. So yeah, Bitcoin's going back, maybe retest this and then go down, and Dogecoin will probably go back up as well to the next level up, right? We're on a 4 hour. Let me go back to 5 minute. So I think that yesterday we saw this huge pump, right, all the way to the yellow line. I don't know what's going to happen today. I just think that probably some whales have bought here, like that guy from Ethereum, who now found that maybe he bought some, maybe Elon Musk, maybe they all bought at the same time. Obviously, that's why somebody bought a lot. Look at how it went up during the time it was like crashing. So, and then the news came out and all that. So I just think that's what happened there. But anyway, that just made it stronger. So we're not crashing down to that like level, which we should have, but we didn't because of whatever happened here. It made Dogecoin stronger. And now it's staying at that support, right? So that's good. It will eventually, you know, to get to 42,000, we will definitely go down. And let's say we go down 2 levels, then I would expect to buy between 25 cents and 26 cents. Approximately, yeah, even as cheap as 23. We might get a wick there. A wick is like, it means that it basically, if it goes there and people panic, you get a wick, and you can put a trade. If you already have your trade there for the buying, you could catch that wick, right? But you have to have your trade there already. And I already have that for, actually, I have some crazy price plan, like down to 20 cents and 16 cents, just in case. And in case that it crashes below that. But I'm going to add more as we go down. I'm going to add soon. I'm going to add 26 cents and 23 cents at the line here. So I'm going to put some orders there. They're a small order, but they're going to be there so I can catch them, right? Because I do believe that as we go down to 42K, then those are the buy levels for Dogecoin, 26 and 23. It could be lower, but I don't think so. I don't think we're going to go back to 20 cents, although I have orders there and I have some for 16 cents as well. I think actually where we're really going is going to be there, okay? All right, guys, that's it for tonight. So to maximize your profit, those are the worst case price. BTC 40K to 42K, right? Once we reach below the 30. And for Dogecoin, well, the worst case price, as I just told you, about 26 cents, 24 cents. Okay. All right, guys, have a good night. Bye.